The Aces are not very good. And I think it's just time to say that. They went on a hot streak for like 10 games when Chelsea Gray came back. Outside of that, they've been a sub 500 team. They have a worse record, or sorry, I'm not sure if it's worse record, but less wins against teams above 500 than the Fever. The Fever did not beat a team who were above 500 until the 31st or 30th of June. The last day in June was the last time the Fever beat a team. Or was the first time Fever beat a team that are 500. And they've already won more games against teams with 500 than the Aces. The Aces have been awful against good teams. And I mean this. And yes, the Lynx are a good team. The Lynx are a really good team, in fact. Like, I'm going to have to make a video on them. But, like, they're championship or bust. If you are if you're a Lynx fan, you are championship or bust. You've got Hines. You're already a borderline, the second best team, and you added Hines Allen, who's a really good starter. So I just want to show you guys the schedule for the Aces. If you want to look, like, obviously they were 6-6, and then they went on that bit of a run. They went on that run, I think, starting. It basically coincided with the feel good factor of Chelsea Gray coming back. But now that's gone, it's now a case of like Aja Wilson needing to drop 40 or 30 plus, or you lose. Like, if you're looking, they lost a bunch of games here in a row. So they started off the season well. They had a really easy start to the season. They lost to the Mercury without Brittany Griner. They've lost to the Dream this season. They lost to the Storm. They lost to the Sparks twice. The Sparks have won 6 games this year. 2 of them were against the Aces. And if you're looking, they had obviously that run where they won 9 of 10. And the only loss was against the Sparks. But, like, they've lost 3 of 4 now. And if you're looking at the games they're winning, like, they just about beat the Storm here. They beat a bad Dallas team. They lost to a Sparks team. They beat the Mystics. They beat the Fever in a game where they were up 4 going into the 4th. They just went off in the 4th. They beat the Mystics again, the Sky. Like, they must genuinely have, other than this, like, winning against the Sun. But, like, they lost to the Liberty without Benai, I think. But, like, the Liberty cruised. And I mean, the Liberty cruised to that win. It wasn't like they did anything special. They cruised to that win. Whereas Aja Wilson comes out there with 24 points. And they lose. Like, that's the thing, is you need Aja to give you 30. And you've got, again, a game against the Sparks where Aja gives you 34. You beat the Sparks comfortably because the Sparks suck. But the problem is that, like, this team is not as good as people think it is. Like, Megan Gustafson's a fine backup big. Kate Martin's almost gone out of rotation. Sydney Colson's now playing more minutes than Kate Martin. Alicia Clark playing 17 minutes a game. I get it. Tiffany Hayes, good player, came out of retirement. She came out of retirement. Chelsea Gray. Look, Chelsea Gray is a fantastic passer. If Caitlin Clark had a 4 assists, 5 turnovers game, everyone would lose their damn mind. At this stage of the season, if Caitlin Clark, against the Sparks, who are trying to lose, had a 4 assist, 5 turnover game, people would be going crazy. Against the Minnesota Lynx yesterday, like, Kelsey Plum got destroyed by Courtney Williams. Kelsey Plum's having one of the worst seasons of her career. Again, at least Chelsea Gray 5 assists to 2 turnovers here. But, like, this is a starting 5 of Kia Stokes, who is one of the worst starters in the entire WNBA. She is a starter who is averaging 1.8 points per game. And I know she doesn't have to score, but she's one of the worst starters in the WNBA. You have got Chelsea Gray, who, again, at Chelsea Gray's best, Chelsea Gray was the best point guard in the WNBA. She's just not. I don't know why it's acceptable to say that Sloot has taken a step back. Again, a lot of stuff to do with her man being sick and passing away and other stuff. And she's old. Like, why is it that when a normal player gets an injury and they don't come back nearly as good and is really affecting them, it's cool to say, yeah, they're just not the same yet. And Chelsea Gray is giving you 7, 4.8 assists, and is extremely turnover prone. 2-5, 2-3. And like, they're not crazy turnover numbers, except when you're putting up like 4 or 5 assists a game. Like, she's doing nothing on the floor. Jackie Young is having to be their main perimeter defender because she's their only perimeter defender. And as you've seen as the years gone on, Jackie Young to start the season was averaging 21 and 8. Her stats are dropping because she's focusing more on defense, and you can see here, she'll have a good game and then she'll have 2 bad games and a good game. Like, that's the problem, is like, because she's having to do so much on defense, she's having good games, she's having bad games. Kelsey Plum is having one of the worst seasons of her career from what I've seen. She'll have one. Her stats don't look as bad as she's been on the floor. Like, this is a team that's blown out a lot of the weaker teams. But they've really struggled. They lost to the Sky. They lost to the Sky. They're genuinely just not. They're not that good. They're the 5th best team in the WNBA. They're the 5th seed on merit. They're the 5th seed on merit. And by the way, you do have the MVP. And look, nobody is touching her for this award. But it shouldn't be unanimous, and we're going to make a video about that. Like, they are the 5th seed. It should not playing on a team of 4 Olympians. And the problem is that she has to pull off a generational carry job to win games. Their team's tactic on offense is give the ball to Asia and pray. And then sometimes they just stop giving the ball to Asia and they don't score. Like, that's literally it. Their tactic is give the ball to Asia, pray she scores, and if she misses, tough. Like, she'll have, again, there's games where I get 9 of 21, 28 points. She gets to the line so well. Like, A'ja Wilson is an incredible offensive player. She's the best player in the world at the minute. She is. I think, like, if you're saying to GMs who would you start a franchise with, the answer is very clearly Caitlin Clark. But look, at this point in her career, Caitlin Clark is not better than A'ja Wilson. I think it's close enough that it's not a absolutely crazy, you don't know ball argument to say Caitlin Clark's better, but in my opinion, she's not yet. But also, it's close enough to think it's highly unlikely that at some stage Caitlin Clark doesn't overtake A'ja Wilson. But they need to give her, like, she needs to have 30 and 15 a night if they want to win. Like, that's the reality of it. Is that A'ja Wilson is going to have to give you 30 and 15. She's going to have to play near 40 minutes a night. And that's just for them to start winning games. Like, they are, again, you might be saying they're 17 and 10. That's like, they're only 1 game off the Storm. But they're 2.5 games off the Lynx. It's almost certain that they're going to face the Seattle Storm in the first round of the playoffs. And I'm taking the Storm. I'm sorry, I am taking the Storm over the Aces. You look at the Storm. Who do the Storm have? Okay, the Aces' biggest threat, A'ja Wilson. Who do the Storm have? Oh, the best post defender in the WNBA. And then, if Ezi Magbagor is kind of getting cooked, they can plant Ezi Magbagor under the basket as a help defender and put Neko Wumake on A'ja Wilson. That can work too, but we've seen with the Sky that Reese couldn't deal with Wilson, but Cardoso does. A'ja Wilson is not that she'll cook anybody, but at times she struggles with like really lengthy people, which Ezi Magbagor is. You've then got Jackie Young. Oh, Gabby Williams and Jordan Horston are on this team. Skylar Diggins-Smith is better than Chelsea Gray. Your wild card is Kelsey Plum. But like, or is Sydney Colson just going to go off in the playoffs? But no, they're the 5th best team in the WNBA. And that is a fact. I get it, they're back-to-back champions. I get it. They're the 5th best team. You cannot tell me that watching this team play, especially how bad they've been against better teams. If you even want to look at the trade deadline, the Aces, nothing happens. Heck, even the Mercury are getting Monique Billings. The Seattle Storm, Gabby Williams, would be the 3rd or 4th best player on the Aces. They added her. Minnesota added in Misha Hines-Allen. Would be a starter for the Aces. Connecticut Sun got in Marina Mabry. I don't know, again, what she would be for the Aces. Hasn't figured it out yet for Connecticut. But, like, they're going to be the 5th seed. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they might have the one of the hardest runs for the rest of the year. So the Aces for the rest of the year are playing the Lynx again. They're not going to beat the Lynx. They're going to beat the Sky because the Sky suck. The Wings, they're probably going to beat the Wings. The Dream, the way they're playing, maybe not. The Mercury, They need to have a better start to the year. They're facing the Sky again. Oh, they get to play the Sky 4 times. I don't know why I thought it was only 3. But look at how they end the season. Sun, Liberty, Fever, Sun, Storm, and obviously Wings. Like, they have this stretch of games where it's not crazy to think. Like, they need to win 4 of these 6 games. They need to win 4 of them. They have a really tough stretch of games. And if they end the season 24-16, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, what's 24-16 compared to what they are right now? They're 17-10. So that's saying 7-6. Yeah, if they go 7-6 the rest of the year, go 24-16, and are the 5th seed, that's about what they deserve to be. Obviously, this is a picture of last season. There's Candace Parker. But that is about what they deserve to be. Based on how they've played this season, that's about right. And I think that's in and around where they're going to win. They're going to win somewhere between 23 and 26 games. So, yeah. They're really not that good a team. We're going to be honest. They're not. They're good. They're not that good. They are not at the level of the Sun. They're not at the level of the Liberty. And they are not at the level of the Lynx.